Hello everyone, welcome to the Advancement Centre and welcome to the world of magic and miracles. Once again, we're in a position where we can all communicate with one another through that area that we can't explain. And as we do, we can feel the energies rise and feel ourselves lift above where we are normally. So to live in a world of magic and miracles is one thing, but living above that is our total aim. It's a place, it's a position, it's a feeling, and it's a total anomaly in the everyday world. But it exists for us, and it maintains our being in ways that we've never ever thought of before. And so as we enter a new phase of life once again, advancement is our total purpose. We don't even know how to describe that. But as we advance, we lift, we get lighter, we change, our personality changes, and everything around us changes. And that was the purpose all along, for us to come to Earth and demonstrate that there's much more to us than just the physical activities that are set out when we first arrive. The purpose is built into us, but it's not definable. And so now, as advancement takes a new turn, it reveals to us many, many different attributes that we've never thought of. In settling into a different way of life, we find that everything that's given to us is totally abnormal, but thrilling and exciting. And the fact that we realized that we came from a world of magic and miracles is now surpassed by the fact that we are actually starting to activate a field that is way beyond our understanding of magic and miracles. It's a field that's around us, that's through everything, that has no time function, that tells us everything we need, but it doesn't tell your brain. It allows actions that have never been written down on paper, and that probably never will. It allows you to actually go into dimensions that you've made and live in a reality that you understand. As we elevate each week, we get closer and closer to feeling that sense of well-being that belongs to us, that we've known about all our lives, but never been able to capture. And now we're walking around in it, and we don't know how we do it. But in fact, we're experts. Everything you do and everything that comes to you is familiar, even though it's new. Everything in every interaction with nature, with other people, with events, has a large proportion of newness. The small amount of familiarity that we call constant is actually disappearing, so that everything that we experience is new. Right now, we're in a position well above the elevated platform of living that we started with. And we really don't have any method apart from just being there and moving further and further every moment and feeling the action and feeling the part of us, the majestic part of us that actually works with all this function. There's a lot more. And right now we're looking at an opening to a reality that allows us to have a realistic interplay with the universe, with the other worlds, with the mystery, to such an extent that once you take on this reality, you are back in control, but through a whole different mechanism. Through the majesty of your being and the mystical part of you, you interplay with all these worlds. And you are the author of everything that comes out of it. There's a response to every part of you by the universal fields that make up everything physical and non-physical. And as you take on that reality, you are back in control. And I say that again, you are back in control, but not through the control mechanisms that you've been taught up to this time. There is no responsibility with that control. It is a joyful dance that allows everything to be in a special harmony that comes from you. And with that harmony, you can calm even nature. You can take the harshness out of every interaction that happens in the world and in the universe. As we move further into that, you'll have an understanding of what it's like in other worlds. Not just the knowing that we've had in the past. You will start to understand how to interact with an understanding that doesn't come from your brain. It comes from every part of you. And as you allow it, you feel your spirit soar and take on the whole universal control system without a care in the world and without a problem and without anything to stop anything. This is why your spirit has no limitations, and it doesn't care if there's something in the road. It doesn't care if there's a mountain in the road. Because of the way we are, it is all taken care of with a program of simplicity that we are now becoming very familiar with. So if you want to do something, in the past meant you had to have a method. If you want to do something now, your whole system just leaps forward and starts to do it. And you can feel it happening. You can feel everything in the universe getting up and moving and putting everything into place. And it's feeding back to you all the time. And it's amazing, might I say, reality that you can feel in more ways than you can feel by touching something with your hands. So as we pursue new things, the part of you that is now residing in an elevated position will interact with all the fields and amplify the tiniest things into reality. We have so much ahead of us that what's gone in the past is going to disappear into a small part of our history. What the world has ahead of us is thousands and thousands times more than the total history that we have captured already. The movement of data will be so fast, it will appear for everybody exactly when it's required. And the time delay that we go through now of having to go through processes to achieve something won't exist. For us right now, many of those timed functions don't work anymore. It's all there, or it's not all there. And there's no need to change focus because your focus is so broad, it encompasses everything. Because you're not trying to fit it through a little hole or through one function in your system or through what you understand. The brilliance of those who have come on this earth recently is obvious to everyone. But what is not obvious is that those of us who came here a long time ago have that same brilliance. It's just been stuffed through a hole that's too small. And now that we're above everything without limitation, there is no hole for anything to go through. We're not wearing a particular coat anymore to say, this is who I am. We're allowing the picture to appear as a glow for everybody to see. For everybody to use. And for everybody to gain. We're getting closer and closer to actually lifting off to where we can decide to just come a little bit above the floor if we wish. And many of us can feel that as we speak, we can lighten everybody's load. And that's not done by a specific method. And it's not even done by magic and miracles. It's done by the nature of who you are. And as that nature grows and you take on the realities that are placed in front of you, you expand and you cannot operate as the single being that you think you are. You're operating in multiple layers, in multiple dimensions, in multiple time zones, all at once and different. And as you allow that more and more energy becomes available to you to transmit, to hold your life on, to enjoy. And it's compounded by the amount of interest and excitement that comes with it. Each time we find something comes out of nowhere, it's much bigger than what it's ever been in the past. Each time we allow a scene in our life to take over our life, we feel stifled, because that's what used to be. And now there are no scenes in our life, it is just life. And we live it, and we let the scenes and we let the interactions flow so that they support one another, and they get bigger and bigger every moment. So in this coming week, you're going to find a lot of things come out of nowhere. A lot of interactions will happen at a level where all you'll do is smile, because it's too far above everybody's head, too far above your own head, but very, very deep in the energy fields that belong to your majestic being. And after this week, it will be double again and again. And we are adapting to this life quicker now than we've ever done. Even though some say that there are many, many interactions with outer space shown in history, many advanced capabilities appear to have been used in the past, I can tell you they do not even touch the edge of the capability you're showing right now. Because within your being, you can do anything. And you know you don't need any technology to do it. Although working with technology is great. But what you're about to display is really the ability for Earth to be part of the heaven, not the other way around. And as you change that whole scene for yourself, the Earth and everything in it becomes the heaven you've thought about, known about, and been taught about. And as such, you don't try to plant heaven on Earth. You take Earth, everything in it, all the actions, and you expand them and open them up like a book, so that everything inside you blossoms. Everything around you blossoms. And all of a sudden, the Earth is in another plane. And this is the opening in a reality that we've been waiting for. It's a small opening, but it's bigger than anything we've experienced as a totality in all the centuries the Earth has been floating around. And you will see proof everywhere with people bringing technologies forward. But that's not proof. That's you opening the world to everything that's in it. And you open your world to everything that's in you. And the world has to grow pretty quick, because you are much more than the totality of what we understand right now. That's as one individual. And look at the number of individuals we have. Billions. But when you start to go into other dimensions, into other planets, into other worlds, other time zones, and other dimensions, the numbers are enormous. And like every part of nature, no two things are the same. So we have a lot to experience, a lot to work with. But most of all, the reality and the opening to the reality is right here with you now, where you interact with all the fields and the forces, and you start to allow things to become physical. And physical in all those terms doesn't mean it's something you can see. But there will be a time where, on occasion, we can take the unknown, the unseen, and bring it into the known and the seen. It's happening all the time. Things are being moved from one dimension to another, from one part of the galaxy to another. And the fact that we can't see it doesn't relate at all to what we know. Our communication is one of the greatest things that we have, and we don't have to reveal it to anyone. Each one of us individually has a communication system that can be funneled to anywhere at any time, and attached to that communication system, there are certain controls where we can actually change whatever we like. And the more we intermingle in all the different fields and all the different attributes that belong to us and that don't belong to us, the more we find their interaction belongs to us. And as we get used to the fact that we have another reality, another set of channels, if you like, that gives you an understanding of what interactions are and how real they are, and how we trip up every now and then because we've been used to having a focus, and we turn off the majestic part of our being. So as we sit here, it's easy to say, well, let's go a little further. And it starts by itself. And we move a little further and a little further until we feel more interaction. And we feel the fields actually starting to pulse and buzz around us. And we just move a little further and the activity increases. So the more you are willing to separate from the focus that you're used to, the more activity happens, the greater the energy, the more life force comes into your being. And you light up the way you're supposed to light up. You see beyond what you know as visual. And there are those of us who have always been able to see past those things. But now, everybody can. Because it's your heritage. And there's no judgment that can say you can't be in another dimension. You can't daydream with your eyes open. And you can daydream about 1,000 different places at once or more and have them all happening as a daydream, which makes your life perfect. And the tasks that come around your body just get done. The interactions happen perfectly because you are starting to occupy the parts of you that actually turn on your own engine. And then the music starts and we all dance freely within our own being to a tune that belongs to each individual. And the more that tune happens, the more you generate, the greater things become, and the more familiar you become with who you are. There's not much more to say, but there's a lot more to experience. And I encourage you all to just expand a little. Get on the elevated platform of living. Play with the magic and the miracles. Go above it, and then go a lot further until you feel it's all running by itself. Then you'll find nothing in your head, just total joy in your whole being. So love one another as you've never loved before. And enjoy perfect life, perfect health, and an elevated magic future. Thank you.